I'm gonna cut you off for a minute, and I'm gonna run the house.
No problem.
Okay. All right. See you in a minute. Yep.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay. So this is the first meeting. So Sarah and Bianna can't make this time, so they're always going to watch. And I thought, you know what? If I'm going to email the video out every week, I might as well just email the video out every week. And my daughter's not here yet either, so hopefully she remembers. She might have forgot to. But anyways, so it'll be this time live. So the advantage of coming live is going to be mainly you get to ask me questions live and you'll get to know each other a little bit better, right? But you don't have to come. Here's what you have to do each week. You got to get the homework in. It is due Sunday. It's 3 p.m. my time. So if you're Eastern, that's 6 p.m. wherever you are. I think everybody's Eastern except for Bianna, who is ahead. So Bianna, when you're watching this, whatever this meeting time is for you, which I think is midnight, then it's due Sunday night, midnight your time, so that I have 24 hours at least to do the homework review. Because what I'm doing is I'm reviewing the homework. I make a video of the homework review because sometimes it's just like highlights and lowlights, usually not the middle stuff, but it's like, hey, someone did this really well. Let me show the team so they can see an example of what really well is. And then sometimes if there's a mistake, a lot of times I won't identify who made the mistake, so you don't have to be embarrassed unless you tell everybody it was you. That's fine. You can own it if you want, but that way people can see, because the goal here is not to embarrass anybody. The goal here at the end of the 120 days is to get you to a point where you could do this for a living if you want to, or at least make extra money, right? So that's going to be the goal. Now, there is a chance to get published ahead, during the internship. That will be good for your portfolios. So the problem with what we do, most of what we do is ghostwriting. So people won't know it's you, but you can put it in your portfolio. I will be your reference. If you're like talking to a prospect or a client, say, hey, I want to do this. And they say, show me some examples of your work. You can send it to them. If they don't necessarily believe it, because they won't have you in the byline, they can ask me, you know what I mean? You can introduce me and I can verify that you did write it. Okay, so we'll make it like that. But remember with the internship program also, there's the affiliate fee. So finder's fee. So if you're talking to people and they need our services and you get them to talk to me and they sign up, I will pay you 20% of the first month's spend and 2% of every other month. So if they sign up for a $750 a month service, you'll get $150 the first month, and then you get $15 every other month until they stop. So if you get a few of those, it can add up. Now, our most expensive service is $6,000 a month. You get one of those, you'll be really, really happy. You get $1,200 the first month, and then you'll get, would that be $120 every month thereafter. So that would be a good one, right? But it's good for you, it's good for me, and it'll be good for the client because we're actually really good at what we do. Hang on just a second. I'm here in my in-laws' home, and it's going to be noisy for a second because the laundry machine is right next to me. I'm just going to close the door real quick. Right. We're here up in the San Francisco Bay Area for Thanksgiving week. So normally I'm in LA. All right. So this week, what we're going to do, we've already done kind of the intros. That was what last week was about. So if you guys haven't met each other, I encourage you to friend request each other on LinkedIn to get participating in that chat room. Or if you want, you can send out emails. The thing with emails, I would keep the emails directly to group homework related questions. The chat room can be anything you want. You guys can chit chat. You can ask for help. If you guys want to have a study group and stuff, you can do that. I'm thinking about having an open hour session too, somewhere in the week. I haven't set the day and time for Bianna and for Sarah, since they can't be here at this time. Maybe I'll just have like, it's not an official appointment, but like open hour, office hours where you can, and then if I have to cancel a week or something, it won't be that big a deal, but that way you guys can get some extra help. But the chat room really is a good way for you guys to talk about stuff, get to know each other, and you can do whatever you want with that. It's not like, oh, this is not serious, we can't put it in there. I don't care, you can post jokes or whatever, whatever you want. But this week we're going to dive right into it. What are we doing? This internship is primary focus. The main focus is SEO. What do we do SEO for? Going to be a lot of screen shares. So bear with me as I'm using my laptop. It's not exactly the same as I'm used to working from home, but I got this bar thing that's in my way and that's not cool. Let's see if I can move it. There we go. I don't need to move that down. Okay. So very first thing that you want to do, people use Google all the time. Like today, I got an airline, American Airlines gave me 5,000 bonus miles. I'm like, what is the value of that, right? So people use Google these search engines to look up stuff all the time. Now, we work with, at my company, Bowman Digital Media, we meet or we work with service-based businesses. So one of them, and we're going to get into it, they own this company, Curtain Blinds and Bath, and they really want to increase their visibility for their interior decor section. So they do pretty well with some of their other in-store products, but this is a service that they're trying to sell on top of it, and they're not ranking on Google. And so they want to rank on Google. So the email comes in, after we have the conversation, and I'll show you. This is this real world stuff here. I'm going to drop this down. Okay, so we sat down yesterday. Now she's talking about her internal team, because I had told her to come up with 8 keywords that they would like to rank for, thinking that they might pick their products or types of interior decorating that they specialize in. They know their business better than I do at this point. So I thought, okay, well, let me see what they come up with. And then we will pick some other words to go with it. But she came back with and said, we are too focused on the consensus, what words to choose. Obviously, interior design for sure, right? And interior decor, interior decorating, those 3 are obvious. But what other words, verbs, adjectives, whatever, since this is your expertise, we would like you to go onto our website and make recommendations for us. Okay, so in other words, there's an abundance of caution here. But when you go onto a website and you're looking for what it is they do, you want to pick keywords that are addressed in the website itself. If they're not addressed, then we can make a recommendation. Hey, we think that you should be using these words, and there is no actual content right now on your site about it. And that is where you, my friends, will come into play in this training. We're going to talk about SEO as a whole, but we're going to talk about this SEO writing, which is what we're going to be focusing on in this internship. So how do you figure out what words they need to rank for? There is a program. I'm just going to walk you guys through it from start to finish here. So SEMrush is a program that people in the SEO space use. There are other ones. Moz is the other big one, and I use Moz a lot. In fact, I have the Moz toolbar right here installed. We'll go over what that is in a minute. But once you go to SEMrush, you do have to be signed in. So I am signed in already. Okay, so if you don't have an account, you can make one for free. So go ahead, go to SEMrush. This will be in the homework this week. You're going to want to create an SEMrush profile. Again, it's free. You don't need to buy anything to do this, but it's a tool that you're going to want to have, and you will use it every week. You'll use it. Okay. So the very first thing that you want to do when you're looking up SEO for keywords or for whatever it is that you're looking for, is you want to take the URL and put it in there. Now, when you have the SEMrush tool, the free version, which is all I'm asking you to do, you get 10 searches per day. So you have to be a little bit judicious with your searches. Otherwise, you'll run out unless you buy the tool. Okay. This tool costs you about $200 a month. So you're not going to want it unless you become a business owner like me, right? Then you'll buy it. But you can do the free version. In fact, this is a free version that I'm using right here. Now, the website that I'm using, the cbb/home.com, is their interior design website. They actually have a main website, the sister site. So Let's see if this thing keeps getting in my way. Move it. Okay. So cbb/home.com is their interior design website, but this is their main site: curtains, blinds, and bath. Okay, so we could, and I did, look up curtainblindsandbath.com. But in this case, because we're looking to increase the SEO ranking, the position on Google for the interior design, I'm looking up this one. And the results are different. You can see here authority score 7, organic search traffic 1, backlinks 768. I'm going to tell you what all those are in just a second. Let's see here, if we go to the main site, they've got authority score of 12, 629, 3.5 thousand. So it is different. But the question that we have right now, and again, this is the main site, is about keywords. Now they rank very well on curtains, blinds, curtain blinds and bath, curtains and blinds, blinds, Lynchburg, Virginia, blinds, curtain. Those things they all they rank pretty well for. You can see how much traffic they get. So 35% of their organic keyword traffic is coming from curtain blinds, which is great. Curtains blinds, they have both plural. So that's good. Cost per click. They are paying for some of this traffic. It's 3%. I'm sorry, it's $3.47 is the value of this word combination on Google. So if they were to buy an ad for every person that clicks, it would cost them on average $3.47. That's how you do this. Okay. Curtains, blinds, and bath is actually cheaper, $1.70. So if we were doing a CPC campaign, this would be important. We're not doing a CPC campaign right now, so this is not totally relevant. But look at the volume. See here, curtains and blinds, there's a lot more volume coming. It's a more expensive purchase if you were going to run a cost per copy campaign, but the overall percentage of traffic coming to their site is less, which means a couple of different things. It could mean that their competitors are buying ads and they're not, or their competitors are buying more ads than them, and so they're not getting as much of the volume. Or it could just be that they don't have this particular keyword content written like this with curtains and blinds, so Google is not offering them up as the main response, right? The top of the first page. We'll get into that in just a second. Or it could just be that some of the competitors have a much higher domain authority, which is probably the case in this instance. They probably have competitors with 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s domain authorities as opposed to the 12. In fact, if we go over here to, I don't want to confuse you guys too much yet, but Moz and SEMrush rank these things a little bit different. And log in. Again, you can get a Moz tool for free. You don't have to pay for it. Okay, but now if I come over here, I can see the page authority is 28, the domain authority is 14. So that's roughly the same as SEMrush said it was a 12, and they said this was a 7. So they're not that far off on these. Sometimes there's a pretty big discrepancy. But anyways, the thing to note here is domain authority is the main site ranking. That ranking scale is 0 to 100. Okay, I'm going to show you that and make it more clear here this way. So visually, if you want to look at domain authority, oh, let me step around on here. Let's see if we got it here. Oh, that's funny. The dryer is shaking my desk. Okay, I apologize. This isn't exactly the way I'm used to seeing it. So, and I'm going to move this because shaking is just weird. All right. Okay, I'm going to come up with a diagram and show you guys. But if you can imagine with me, in fact, let me get off of Share screen for just a second. So we're looking at me. Okay. Imagine you have a pie chart, 10 levels, okay? 0 to 10, and then 11 to 20, and then 21 to 30, and then 31 to 40. You see them going up like that? The way the domain authorities work, 0 to 10, that's level 1, okay? So when you create a website, brand new website, your domain authority on that website is a 0. That's how that works. So you have a 0 domain authority score. Google looks at everybody from 0 to 10 exactly the same way. You're level 1. Then it says tier 2, or what they call tier, they're in tier. Okay, so tier 2 is 11 to 20. 11 to 20 is where most websites reside. So if you have a website that's been around for more than a year and it's somewhere between 11 to 20, that's what you would expect. So it's a normal strength ranking. That's what we call normal. Okay, most websites are somewhere between 8 to 12 because the newer websites are below 10, and the websites that are a year or older are usually around 12 to 13. So that 8 to 13 range is what we expect in SEO. When you get above 13, it's good, but really when you hit 21, that's where you start to have a strong site. Okay, 21 to 30 is what we call tier 3. A tier 3 site actually is worth money. You could sell it for money. Okay, when you start getting tier 4, and tier 4 again, you're going to 31 to 40. Okay, but when you start getting a domain authority of 31 to 40 or more, now you can actually sell advertising on your website. You can sell your website for a lot of money. Okay, so when you're in the SEO world, when you're in the digital marketing space, like me as the owner of a digital marketing company, every single day I get emails from bloggers. And what they do is they'll write me and they go, hey, we have backlinks available on websites with domain authority of 60, 70, 80, 90. And this is how much it costs for you to get that. And what they want is they want me to then take that to my clients and go, hey, we can get you listed on this site, that site, and the other site. It will be an extra $725. Would you like to get those? Because here's the idea. The main idea with domain authority is trust. So if you have a domain authority that has a rating of 72, okay, now to get that, that's going to be a pretty big company, a nationally known, maybe even internationally known brand, like an Alibaba, something like that. You're going to have 70s or 80s, okay? So it's a pretty big business. If you can get them to link from their website back to your website, whoever you are, they're lending or extending their credit from them to you, and that strengthens your credit. So for SEO, write this down. This is super important. You want to get as many high-ranking backlinks as possible. Period.
Say it again. Get what?
Yep. High-ranking backlinks. The backlink is just another name for when you're on any website and you click on something and it takes you to another website, or it takes you to technically another page on the same website, because you can have internal and external. I'm going to explain that in just a second. But you want backlinks from other websites that point to your client's website. So sometimes we write blogs or we write content and we're not going to post it on our site. We're going to post that content on another site. Okay, that's called hosted content. Now, sometimes the hosted content is free, but most of the time you have to pay for it. This is where Tia, for tips from Tia, can make money. Because as your domain authority goes up at tipsfromtia.com, then people like Bowman Digital Media go like, hey, I've got all these clients that are looking for these backlinks, hosted postings. So we'll write the article and we'll, inside the article, link back to our website through a hyperlink. And now Tia gets content for her website, and the client gets a high domain authority site pointing back to their website, so they get this valuable backlink. And that's
I'm ready to do that whenever you're ready, Ira.
yeah. So that's how this works. this all works. It works back and forth. It's like a ping pong match. The stronger your site becomes, the more valuable it is. It's a commodity, not only to sell it as an asset, but to get, this is actually more valuable. It's another source of passive income stream because you can sell affiliate marketing, that's your ads. You can sell hosting space where people want to, right? You write the blog, you host the blog, and then the blog resides on your site. It doesn't have to reside there forever. You can say, okay, well, it's $1,200 a year. You don't pay me the $1,200 next year, we'll kill the blog. That hyperlink goes away. It's renting your server space, basically. Okay. So search engine optimization. What are we really trying to do? We're trying to get, there's one thing that we're trying to do. And one thing, I'm just going to show you because it'll make more sense. I am very much a show me guy. Okay. So in the case of the interior design company that I'm going to be using as an example today, but it could really be anything. So let's say I'm one of their prospects and I go interior design. That's the number one way that somebody's going to search, right? Or they might have gone interior decorator, and they might have gone interior decorators near me or something like that. They might not use the word firm. It's going to mean it's going to be something along those lines. And then they hit enter. And then what happens? Well, you get the wonderful ads. No, okay. Now I'm going to get some spam. That's how much I love you guys. I'm going to put you on to get spam. Okay. So now you get ads, right? Most of us look past the ad stuff. Okay. Then what does Google do? Google says, well, let me show you the maps. We're going to come back to this in just a second. This is why we want to Google verify. Okay. And we're going to talk about that process. But they need to Google verify. That's one of the things that we ask in the intake consultation. Okay. But this is where the money starts. Because everything up to here right now is different. This isn't Google search results. Well, this is, but this is Google Maps. Okay. But this is Google itself. Now I'm in Saratoga. This is the town that I'm in right now, Saratoga. Okay. So how does it know to show me Saratoga and not, where I live in Moreno Valley or whatever? It's because I just allowed them to do that cookie track. If I didn't, it wouldn't necessarily show me these. It probably would have shown me Moreno Valley. But the point is, it's going to show me somewhere on a map. That's one of the things it's going to do. Now I have my Moz tool turned on, so I have this cool little thing showing up. But I'm gonna explain to you what this is, so you guys can get this Moz tool for free as well, and you can do the same thing. But it'll help you. So it's showing me this HOUZZ.com. There's a few of them. Then it's showing me Clutch. Then it's showing me the Spectrum Design. But how does it put these ones here in this order? How did Google determine what order to show these? That's the question that I have to teach you how to answer, because that's the game. That is 100% the game here. We're going to write content to help improve the results. Like if we wanted our client to show up in this list, we would struggle because they don't have a location here. But they're not really trying to get people from here anyway. So they're trying to get people where they are. I had this, I'm going to stop share for a second and I'm going to come back. Okay. So I had this conversation just a minute ago with a prospect meeting. I was just on a prospect meeting an hour ago. And at Bowman Digital Media, we offer two main services. We do social media management and we do SEO services. And the lady goes, well, what is your mix of business? What's your ratio right now? And I said, well, it's about 60% that we do social media marketing, and we do about 40% search engine optimization. And she goes, how do you help them pick? Like if they're only going to go with one or the other, how do you help them pick? I said, usually it's the geofence. And she goes, I don't know what a geofence is. I said, that's okay, I'll explain it to you. A geofence is the area in which your business services. Okay, some people have a geofence that's pretty small. Like if you have a brick and mortar location, you're probably just going to be the city in that area, maybe the county in that area that you reside. Okay, that would be your geofence. If you have multiple locations, brick and mortar, it would be however many locations you have, all the areas around that. So you might do a whole city or state, or like the South, something like that. If you have an online presence where you can actually help your clients online, you might not have a geofence at all. It might be the whole world. Okay, so where do people come from that use your services? How big of an area is that? If it's more than a state, let's say you get to the United States, or you get to all of Europe, something like that, your geofence is pretty large. Now, social media becomes more viable. If it's smaller, if it's concentrated into one area, for example, I had a client last year from West Orlando. He was a power washer. All they did was they went to businesses and they washed like the driveways, and they washed the sides of the buildings and the decks and their fleet, like their vehicles, their service vehicles. They would wash those off. But they didn't even want people in East Orlando or south of Orlando or north of Orlando, only west, because they didn't want to drive with their equipment too far away. I said, okay, social media management doesn't work for you. If I want to drive business to you, because I'm going to get people excited about your services in California, they can't hire you. They're going to get people excited in New York City. They can't hire you. Even in Miami, can't hire you, right? So because it was such a small area, I said, let's do this. Let's focus on Google Maps, because I want people who are searching for power washers near me. That's what I really wanted. Okay. So SEO was the way to go for him. Some clients, a lot of these like coaches and people, they're doing intellectual property. Marketing services certainly apply to that. It doesn't matter where the client is to me. They can be anywhere. I've got clients from around the world. Doesn't matter. So for me, I focus more of my efforts on social media because it's a bigger reach, right? So search engines don't have to be restricted by geofence. But if I was only going to do one or the other, when you have a large national or international geofence, then I suggest that you go with social media with a caveat. Okay. The person I was talking to happened to be in Montana. And I said, one thing I know about your particular region is they're very conservative, and a lot of them go Facebook phooey. They're not into social media, right? They're anti-social media. So you also have to know something about the demographics of the users that you're going after. Because in that case, even if they were from Montana and they had a larger geofence, we're talking Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, maybe even Oregon and Washington, I might not want to do social media with my main spend. I might want to focus more on Google, because more of them are going to use Google Maps and Google as a reliable search source than social media, just because of the demographic of the people that are in that region. Okay.
So is SEO and Google Maps the same thing, or using SEO to direct them to Google Maps as well?
No, it's a great question. Google Maps is a part of SEO, but Google Maps by itself is not SEO. So it's like Google Maps is a tool that utilizes some SEO components. But to get on Google Maps, you can be good at SEO and not good at Google Maps, or you can be on Google Maps and not good at SEO, right? Here's an example. You've got a restaurant business that for whatever reason, never Google verified. And if they've never Google verified, they won't be on Google Maps. It does not take public information and use it. They have to Google verify their business. So if they haven't done that, they might have a really strong SEO campaign and come up number one. When you search pizza places near me, it won't show up in the map, but it might show up if you search for, Bowman's Pizzeria, it might be the number one search result.
So do they pay to Google verify?
No, Google verification is not something you pay for, but what you do have to do is you have to fill out an application form. They mail you a postcard, and in that postcard, they give you a code, and you have to go back into your account and then put that in to verify. It's a Google verified business. It takes about 30 days. And it is one of the things, like I said, when I'm doing a consult with our clients or prospects, it's one of the things that I make sure they understand that needs to happen. A lot of them don't know what that is. They're not in marketing. So they don't understand the importance of it, but very important. Now, the reason why a lot of service-based businesses don't like to do it is because their office is their house. And when you do Google Maps verification, you have to have a physical address, and it can't be a PO box. It can't be like a UPS store. It has to. Now you can have like a Regis, if you know what those are. So a Regis is a type of shared office. Okay, so you can have a shared office, but you cannot have a PO box or a mailbox, etc., or anything like that. It has to be a physical location where somebody could actually walk in and talk to somebody. That's why Google does that.
Okay, got you.
Google verification is not really a part of the course, but I just want you to understand how it works, because Google Maps is a significant thing. Now, another thing that's significant about that is if you want to get Google reviews, you have to be Google verified. So any business that you can go on Google and give them 5 stars, 4 stars, leave an online review on Google, they have done their Google verification. If you cannot, and they have not, then you want to suggest that they do. But of course, when you put them in touch with me, I'll do that for you. But what we are focusing on in this course is the written part. So some of this is just by way of introduction today. But now that we've talked about that, I'm going to go back to the screen here. And I want to talk about this list a little bit. I want to show you some things, okay? The first thing I want you to notice is, see where it says, this is the #1 result, okay? This is the very first, what we call organic. I'm sorry, I should have explained that word too. There are paid results. You know those as ads. So paid results come first. See how it says ad in front of it? A lot of people don't click on those because they don't trust that somebody paid it. These ones, some people will. Usually if they're on their mobile device, this is the ones that they'll go to first because they're actually looking to go there. If they're on their computer, usually they'll come down here and they'll go to what's called the organic result. And I'm sorry, this is actually the first one. Okay, this is the first result. I lost my, there we go. I don't know why I didn't put that there, but that's okay. We'll go here. All right. What I want you to notice is that domain authority score. I know you guys don't know how to read this yet, okay? But the PA stands for page authority, and it's saying that this particular page that it's sending them to, because it's not the home page, it's a page on their website. The page authority itself, the individual page authority is 43. Okay, again, this is out of 100. And there's 0 links. This is important. There's 0 links, meaning no other websites, when they were indexed, and indexing I will teach you about next time. Okay, indexing is something we're going to get into next time, because I just don't have time to do it all in one. That's why we're taking 120 days. There's a lot to this, okay? But what it's saying is there's no websites outside of itself that are linking to this particular page on this website. This is a page on a website, okay? 0 links to it, but the website itself has a very high, very strong domain authority. It's a 90. Again, the top score is 100, okay? This is a very, very, very popular website. This would rank in the top 0.1% of all websites on the world, in the world. The highest rated website usually is either Google or YouTube, and that's always 99. Okay? So that's 99 is realistically the top. Every once in a while you get hit 100, but it's very rare. Okay, but look, this is actually the same website. There's this one, and then there's this one. They're different pages. How do you know? Page rank 43, page rank 54. What's interesting is this one actually has 73 links to it, and this one has none. So why does Google put this one in versus that one? There could be a variety of reasons, but typically when it happens, the keyword combination is listed more on that particular page than the other page. When you have a domain authority tie and more links to a lower result, this one could have newer content because that's now part of the equation, Again, we will get into that later, but I just want you to kind of understand, here's some of this more than once, and you're going to start to get it, okay? This content is probably been updated more recently than this one. That's probably what the difference is. Or it could be that this one just has stronger content on this topic. In other words, it uses the word interior designer more frequently than on this page. But normally you would expect to see with more links, this would go over. The other thing that could be getting this one too, and this is what you have to be careful of, is spam sites. Again, we'll get into what spam sites are another day. But right now, this one should be above it. So the fact that it isn't tells me that there's something wrong with this particular page. It's older content. It hooks to spam site. It doesn't use the word interior design as much. It's something like that. But now the next one, the third place one, this is a different website. This is Clutch. I want you guys to write this down, this website down, clutch.co, and go get familiar with it, only if you're interested in doing SEO for a living, working in some capacity in SEO. If you are, Clutch is a great tool. Bowman Digital Media is listed on Clutch. I have clients listed on Clutch. This is more for software development agencies, and usually if you're on Clutch, you've got computer software somewhere in your service suite, and we do at Bowman Digital Media. So this is on here. But this one, look, the domain authority drops from 90 to 69. That's a pretty big drop, okay? Only one link to it. That doesn't surprise me. Page authority 37. Usually the page authority is lower than the domain authority. If the page authority is higher than the domain authority, it's saying that this page on this website outperforms the strength. You trust this page more than you trust this site. It's an interesting predicament. It does happen every once in a while, but usually it's a bad sign. Okay? Usually it's a sign that there's an SEO problem somewhere. But in that case, that's number 3. Now look at number 4, Spectrum Interior Design. Okay, so we've got a page authority of 31. We've got a domain authority of 21. So this page does outrank this website. There's 207 links. That's strong. Okay. So these guys probably really good at interior design. Not sure why their domain authority is so low, but this is probably the strongest page on the site. So people would, they don't normally have this tool on, so they wouldn't see any of this. But again, we're nerds here, so we do nerdy things. If you want to do a link analysis, by the way, you can click on that if you want, but I'm not going to get into a diatribe here today. Okay, keep going down. Now this is interesting. You had a 21 domain authority outrank a 76 and a 67. So it always makes me wonder why. So here you've got a low page authority link, rank 44. It's still more than 31, but here you've got 14 links. So in this case, this probably has the word interior design on it a lot. And this probably doesn't have it as much, although it probably has it 10 times, because there's interior design firms near me, 10 best. And so actually probably what this is it's a lack of depth thumbtack. I'm familiar with thumbtack, and they give you little snippets, but it's not really a deep dive. Google is looking for what's called helpful information. This is relatively new in the algorithm formula, which again, we're going to deep dive into what an algorithm is next time. It's a mathematical formula. We'll dig deep into Google and what they're looking for, okay? So this one here, we've got a 44, this one, I'm sorry, that's a page. We've got a 76, we've got a 67. Now, most people will stop there. They'll click on 1 or 2 of those. Usually they're going to click on the top 2. But in this case, because the top 2 are the same place, they might click on one of these. I'm guessing a lot of people will click on this one because this is going to give you company reviews. This is going to give you a list, and this is going to give you a list. These guys actually do the work. So if they're looking for a list, they'll click on one of these. And if they're looking for a company that does it, this is probably the one that they would click on, right? I'm just looking for an interior designer, and I want to get there as fast as possible, and click on that. That'll take me there. This is another list. This is something different. This is interior design jobs. So that's interesting. If I was looking for work, I might click on that one. Okay. So how do we take a company, if we go to page 2, how do we take a company below the ads? Okay, so this is where they start again. This is what we call organic. This company didn't pay for this spot. Google is saying this is somebody that you should naturally be interested in, not because they paid us, just because of the strength of their website. Now look at this one, it's page 2. They've got a domain authority of 30. They've only got one link going there. Actually, this is for this one, so this is this one. Okay, so 58, they've got a 58, a domain authority of 58. Look at how many links there are. 40, almost 500,000 links. So this is kind of like Tia's website. There's tons and tons of pages on Tia's website, okay? But why is this one on page 2? Probably this is American Society of Interior Designers. They got hurt. I'm sure of it. They got hurt by the new algorithm formula that Google uses to rank and provide results. Rank websites, provide results. Why? Because I'm going to almost guarantee that if we were to go on American Society of Interior Designers and look at their content, it's really dated. It's old. Because just until about 6 months ago, there's been a shift. It's been about 6 months ago now. They changed to what they call helpful content. In that, one of the things that they're looking for is updates to blogs. So before that, really, if you went in to update a blog, it didn't make a lot of sense. There was no, other than just wanting to give people the most accurate information you could, there was really no incentive for website owners to go in and refresh old blogs, because links were the thing that drove most domain authority scores. You wanted more articles. So instead of updating an old article, you would just put out a new article with new information. So when they made the change, a lot of people got really mad because they were getting so much traffic, so much business from the old formulation, from the old algorithm composition. And then once the shift happened, overnight, the results changed dramatically. And now all that traffic that they were generating the old way stopped. And a lot of businesses got really, really hurt by it. And I'm guessing that this American Society of Interior Designers, based on the number of links there alone, 500,000 links, a lot of links. That's more links than most websites have on any individual topic, right? So look down below it at the Havenly here. This one, it's got 57,000. That's a ton of links. So that's 10 times that, right? This is a lot of links. So the fact that this is a 58 with that many links, outside links pointing to it, makes me think that this content has to be old. That's got to be the problem, because I know this particular, because I was in the print space and I worked with interior designers. I know this website very well. So they don't have spam. They don't have all the other things that could be hurting this particular website. That's not going to be the problem. The problem here is going to be dated for sure. That's not even a guess. Here's an interesting thing too, Forbes. So Forbes has a score here of 94 with 42 links. How much does an interior designer cost? The problem here is this doesn't answer the question. Okay, so now we're going to start to get into how we move these up. If I wanted to move a website up, let's say this one, American Society of Interior Designers. How do I get that one to bounce up the page? Well, one of the things that I could do, remember the question that we asked. The question was, interior design firms near me. I know this isn't a question, but it is a question. Okay, I'm saying, Google, help me answer this question. So one of the things that we want to do as blog writers or SEO writers, content creators for our clients, is figure out What is it that their prospects are coming into search engines and typing in that box? Now, how do we do that? Well, the first thing that we have to do is we have to go through, well, the very first thing that we do is to have a conversation with your clients, okay? Prospects at that point, they're not even clients yet. And say, okay, tell me a little bit about your business. Tell me what you do. Tell me a little bit about the clients that you already have. What are they coming to you for? How are they finding you now? Because that gives us clues, insight into the demographics of who they're dealing with. Because usually if you're successful in a group, if you put a little bit more effort into reaching more of that group, you'll be even more successful. You understand what I'm saying? So we're trying to get what we call low-hanging fruit. So we want to learn a little bit about their business. So what me and my team will do after we get a prospect, we'll go through their website and we will do what's called a keyword analysis. So one of the things that you can do here on SEMrush is you can actually come down here to keyword overview. Now, you have to tell it what keywords you're looking for. Dive into the largest keywords, right? So that's one way to do it. Or you can come back to this domain overview. Again, I want to be a little bit judicious here with how I do this. So I can come back. Okay, so I'm at cbb-home.com. Normally what you would do is just copy and paste it. So you go to the website. This is the website here. Come here and just hit Control-C. And that's the way to do it. And then come here. Now you can scroll down. This tells you a lot of stuff, and I'm going to be explaining more and more of this over time. Authority score. Again, this is 0 out of 100. Okay, so this, I'm sorry, 0 to 100. So they're tier 1. Okay, that's what this is. Organic search traffic. This, they have one visitor, the way you read this, they have one visitor coming to this website every 30 days. That's how you read this number. That's not good. That's really, really bad. Okay. Backlinks. This is the number of links. Now, SEMrush does it different than Moz. So this number, 768, is different than this number. Okay. This number for, let me show you. This number from Moz says that they have 185 links. SEMrush says they have 768. What's different? Okay, they're different companies. They read it differently. This one says you have 8 domains and 768 links. But this one is saying, now I know this because this is what I do for a living. This is saying that they have 185 outside website pages pointing back to CBB Home. Okay, so SEMrush includes internal links. Most of what you're seeing on here is internal links. Now, if I click on that, it'll actually show me a list of them. Now, it won't show me a comprehensive list because this is a free version, but if you pay for it, you can see them all. But this is where it gets interesting. When we're going to write content, we need to understand keywords and traffic. This is the money. And this is what we will write to increase and improve. Okay. So we can click on view details. Now, again, you get 10 searches a day. So I'm already starting to push my search limit. I gotta be a little bit careful about what I click on. But this gives you some really good information if you know what you're looking at. Now, I apologize because this is, because I'm on my laptop, it's not spread out very high, okay? But if you hover over it with your mouse, you can actually read these. So again, part of the assignment today is to get on to SEMrush.com. And you can pick any website you want to do this for. Pick a website that you like, and then go in and start looking at this because I want you to get familiar with how this works, okay? This is something when you want to do it for money, this is a requirement. Because if you're not doing this, you should not be taking people's money, right? Don't guess at this. You have to know what you're doing. All right. So SERP, what is SERP? SERP features are any results on a Google search engine results page. And that's what SERP stands for, search engine results page, right? It is not a traditional organic result. In other words, are they paying for ads? Is it CPC? Is it a map? Those are non-traditional search results. Hover on an icon to learn what SERP feature that is and click to filter by that feature. All right, so that's just SERPs. These again, how many, like could be a picture ad, right? So you can see what they've got there, okay? This is just telling you the words and where they're at. Position strength, this is important, okay? So what is it? Again, hover, so we can read it. What are we doing after that? No, there we go, it's on the top, okay. The position and analyzed domain gets in organic search results for a given keyword over a specific period of time. In other words, where do you rank against your competitors? All right, next. Position difference, that's your changes. These are always going to be over 30 days. Traffic percentage. So when you see 0.01, that's not good. You want more. In other words, they're not ranking. Now, in fairness, they came to us admitting like, hey, we don't rank very well. We want to increase our ranking. So this is something like a report you can send them month over month. When you send them the bill for the next month, you go, okay, here's where you were, here's where you are. Because a lot of times SEO doesn't happen overnight. This is a marathon, not a sprint. The work that we do takes a while to snowball, okay? So your traffic percentage, if it goes up to 1%, if it goes up to 5%, that's a pretty big jump. They may not have noticed that though. You show them these reports and go, okay, so it is, we're making inroads here. If you just hang with me for a little bit, we'll start snowballing up, okay? Volume, this is an important one. This is the average number of times users have searched for a given word in a month. I want you to write this down. Volume is one of the things you should know for keywords, because when I'm suggesting keywords, I'm looking for high volume words. Let me just tell you that none of these on the screen are high volume. I don't care about any of these words because none of them have any traffic. That's really, really low. Okay, let me show you better words in a minute. Keyword difficulty. Okay, so this is important. So what they're trying to tell you is, if you have a limited budget, anything that's red is expensive. Anything that's green is cheap, right? That's really the way to read this, okay? So the harder it is to achieve a higher rankings for the given keyword, the higher the percentage, right? So 80 is the highest, hardest word. It would be hardest to rank for CVB US and US CVB, okay? I don't know why, but it is. But this one, Sunrooms, Lynchburg, Virginia, would be the easiest. So one of the things to write down for this particular client, even though the search volume is really low, 30, I could dominate. You ever see the ads, we can help you dominate and get on the first page of Google in 30 days, really cheap? This is the kind of crap they're selling you. We're going to help you get to the top of Google on some obscure page. But it does help. It's not that it doesn't help, because again, if you can be the dominant on any key term, that'll help you with your authority. So it isn't that it isn't worth chasing. It's just not worth spending a lot of money to chase. All right. So you want to know your volumes. You want to know your competitive, what they call keyword difficulty, but this is your competition rate. Okay. So this is what they call it here, CPC. CPC is cost per click. It's the average price in the selected currency advertisers are paying for a user to click on that word. In other words, if you're buying ads, all of the CPCs work pretty much the same. I don't care if you're on Google or YouTube or LinkedIn or Instagram, Facebook, all of them. They all pretty much work the same. They're all an auction-based system. So you put in a range. I'm willing to spend as little as this or as much as that, and I have a daily spending limit and I have a monthly spending limit. But the ad might be, in this case, $1.50. In this case, $1.30. These are so obscure because there's no volume that people aren't even paying for this. That's, you know, you don't buy ads for these things, basically. Okay. This is a URL where the words are contained. This is not super helpful information, but this is their best ranking words according to SEMrush. Okay, so they're in a lot of trouble. They know that. So how do we figure out words that can actually help them? Here's a better tool for you for that. Okay, the reason why I say this is better is because this one gives you more words. Now this also has a daily limit of 12. So you can do 12 searches a day. This tool is called Word Tracker. So it's wordtracker.com. There are other tools. There's lots of tools out there for SEO. You can pay for tools, or you can use free tools for what we're doing in the class. For class purposes, you can stick with the free stuff. I'm the one who buys the tools because I actually need it for making money. But here's the deal. And I called this, I actually saved this list, but what you do when you come here is you put in a word. So I put in interior design and then I saved it. And I'm going to come back to that in a second, but let's just go home decor. Let's have something a little, okay. Now let me show you how this works. So I'm working with a client or a prospect who wants to potentially hire me. And they say, okay, I'm not being found on Google, but I want to be found on Google. How or what words should we focus on? What keywords should we focus on? Here's how we put together everything I've showed you so far. Okay, and we're going to have to wrap it up because we're almost out of time. You want to know how much volume there is. Volume is one of those, remember I said, write it down. This is a key point because if nobody's searching for the word, then I don't need to worry about it, right? Now, how do you read this? This is how many searches are being done. There we go. The average number of searches per month over the past 12 months. Okay, so what this means is on Google, every 30 days, you can expect 265,000 people to search home decor on Google every month. Now that's the past 12 months. This right here is just a little diagram showing you that, you know, it's actually getting lower. So this number, we expect this number, if you were to search it again next month, this number would be lower because it's suffered a little dip. But it's a running 12-month total, okay? So what you're looking for is words like this that are going up. These are spiking. Fall decor, well, that makes sense, it's fall. So this actually, we can exclude this. This is one of those that you would want to put in the back of your mind going, okay, maybe next summer I want to hit fall because we know that it's likely to trend back up and then we'll get a surge. But I wouldn't write about fall all year long just for next fall. But you could do something fall, spring, winter, summer, then if you want, right? But you're looking for volumes. So all these are pretty good. Now, IAAT is something that different sources will call it different things, but they all have something similar. Let me raise this a little bit so you can read it. It's a good thing to keep in mind. It's basically how much competition you have. But I'm trying to get it to show you. There we go. All right. So it's what we call in anchor and title. Now, what that means is it's either going to be in the web page name, the URL itself, or it's going to be in the metadata, or it's going to be in both. Okay, and we haven't gone over metadata. We'll go over that again in the future. There's so much to go over. Again, that's why this is going to be 120 days. But these rankings, when you look at all of them, we're going to search by volume. Okay, I always search by volume first. What you want is a number that's low, has a very low IAAT and a very high volume. So I automatically come to this one right here. In decoration room, that's a word that has, or search that has a high frequency, very low competition, very low competition. This is one that we definitely want to recommend, okay? So in our blog, we want to have in our title of our blog, decoration room, something like 3 tips to improve the decoration room, something like that, right? We'll figure out the title, how to make it sexy. But we want to have this. Why? Because that will include it in the URL. It would be like cbb.whatever.customer.com/3 tips to improve decoration room. That would be the URL. So that would include that now here, right? So you'd be one of these anchors, and you don't have very much competition, competitively speaking. You have high volume, low competition, very few pages with that name in it. So the odds that Google is going to put you at the top surge through the roof. And again, when you get the #1 spot on any key term on Google, that helps to drive and generate your domain authority, builds it up. So that's all the time we have for today for the teaching. Because again, I always want to be cognizant. I try to get out of here right on time. But since we're recording anyways, if you guys have any questions about anything we covered, I'll stick around for the next 5 or 10 minutes and I'll send the video out. But if you have to leave now, no hard feelings. I know time is over. But in the video, I'll include these questions. So if you have questions, go ahead.
All right. Thanks. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
I gotta leave. I'm conduct a train right at 7, but I'll look forward to hearing what our homework is.
Yeah, the homework. Okay, the homework will always come in the form of an email.
Okay.
It usually takes me 2 or 3 hours
Okay.
after the teaching session to get the homework out, because I have an idea what I want the homework to be, but then I go back and go, well, we didn't cover that, so I got to change it based on what we covered. Okay.
Okay.
So
cool.
the homework this week is going to be a little bit technical. I'm probably going to have you guys look up on SEMrush some keywords and some rankings and tell me which, like answer this question based on this, which would you rather be, or based on this, what word would you suggest they focus on, right? Something like that. But I'm going to let you guys write this week too, even though we didn't get into writing structure. We're going to write every single week. We're going to write. Okay. So we're going to see kind of where you guys are writing skills at.
Okay.
Right?
Happy Thanksgiving. I'll call you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Tia, you got any questions for me?
I do actually. Went through the keyword on SEMrush kind of fast as I was going through. So keyword overview, right? And then I'm just putting in my domain, right? So put in mine. And then I searched.
Wanted to feed a high quality dog food.
You want me to pull it up on mine?
Yeah, because it keeps asking me if I'm ready to start my 7-day free trial, and I don't want the free trial.
Yeah, you don't need a free trial. Okay, I got some. I don't know if that's your radio. It's coming through.
Oh yeah, it is. Sorry.
All right. Okay, so SEMrush, and then we want to go. Let's pull up.
Why does it keep asking me if I want to do a trial? I signed up for the free. It's driving me crazy.
No, I'm not looking at that part. So.
Yeah, no, I was trying to follow it. That's why I kept
Everybody's going to have that same problem. Maybe, I hope not, but.
I was trying to follow you along, but every time
So
I
you come
would
here,
pop up.
once you get past that, you come here and you put in tips from Tia, right? And then you do search.
Okay.
Okay. So it's saying your domain authority score is already 21. So you actually do have the ability to charge a little bit, right? If you want to, for hosting.
Right.
So what that would be is that would be hosted blogs, right? You want other people at your blog. So what it's saying, when we go to keywords, we're going to scroll down. Top organic keywords. It's saying you have 49 total. But where does your website traffic actually come from? You may not know that. Okay. So you can hit view details and you can see where your traffic comes from. Okay. How to get rid of dandruff without washing your hair is your #1 source of organic traffic. 33% of your monthly traffic is coming from that article, right? So this is people are looking for that. Okay. The next one is how to get rid of dandruff fast without washing. So if you look at that, that's 50% of your organic traffic is coming from dandruff. In fact, it's even better because here's the next one. You got dandruff. This is all dandruff.
Yeah.
So you're getting, for whatever reason, that particular tip, you crushed it. It could be that you don't have a lot of competition on that, but that's what this is saying. Okay, now the thing about SEMrush is, I don't know exactly how accurate it is. It used to be very accurate. Now I trust Moz more, and that was with the algorithm change on Google. Because pre-algorithm change on Google, I actually thought SEMrush was the most accurate tool on the planet. So I spent a lot of time on SEMrush. But with the algorithm tool change on Google, I found that the domain authority scores didn't line up with the search engine results. I was seeing the results didn't match. I'm like, something's got to give here. It's just not. So I imagine that SEMrush is working on their back end to fix it. But for now, keywords should be relatively accurate. I just wouldn't necessarily trust the domain authority. But if you come here and you look, so Moz is saying that you have a domain authority of 12.
Right.
With backlinks of 20,399. Okay, so 20,000. SEMrush, if we go back.
I think it said only 10.
Yeah, the domain authority of 21. But your links are different. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, 10.1 thousand. So it's interesting. The discrepancy is so interesting. But this is saying that you have 1,100 different preferring domains, which is good, right? This is a strong score, but Moz is saying you only have a 21 or a 12. So
Right.
if I were you, I would bank more on this one than that one. But the bottom line is, if you want to figure out how to increase your traffic, what words should you be using?
Yeah.
You would do it completely different. You would come in, because you're doing all kinds of tips. So you would come into a tool like this and go, okay, I'm looking for volumes that are over 200,000. I'm looking for volumes in the millions. So let's just do dandruff real quick. Just because that one, you're getting something. Is that how you spell dandruff?
Yeah. What are you in? Word tracker?
Yeah, this is word tracker.
Is that
Word
a free
tracker,
source or no?
You get 12 free searches a day. So it's more than enough. The thing that you cannot do with the free is you can't download the results. You can take screenshots, but you know, when you buy it, you can actually export it and use it in Excel or whatever to send as send as auxiliary information to a prospect and go, okay, this is why I'm suggesting you do this or that.
Okay.
So you right now, I'm treating you more like a client. I don't know why this is taking so long. It doesn't usually take this long. It's struggling to find similar words. I don't know.
I was
All
gonna
right.
say you could pick a different word if you want.
Yeah, but anyways, you could pick anything, right? What was something you did the other day? Lemon. I'm just trying to think of your videos. I wonder if my internet's not working right. All right, here you go. See the volume here? 7.0. This is one. You go like, okay, if I want organic search traffic, look, Lululemon, 7 million, competition's extremely low, and only 9 IAAT. So you could have a page, you know, the 10 top secrets on how to use Lululemon or whatever. Write an article about that, and that has tons of volume. You would be, well, you'd be in the top 10, I would think, just by default.
Okay.
So that's the kind of stuff, if I were you looking for search volume, right? Lululemon, just spelling it right helps, because look at these people. Well, that's interesting. Lululemon leggings. That's
Well, that's what it is. It's a clothing line.
yeah, that's pretty, but that's pretty skinny. You'd think that leggings actually would be a lot higher because that's what it is.
Right.
I mean, I get lemon water not being high for this, but see, there you go. So you just search for terms like that. You might want to do like copper or skin or beauty products. But what you're looking for is you're looking for high search volume. So in this, and I should have showed you guys this all before if you're still hanging on with the school, PPC is different than SEO. The results are different. What is this? This again is PPC is the same thing. This is it's that per click, right? So it's the same thing as your cost per click. But here you've got your PPC. I'll just click on it. You can read what they say. The higher of a number is, the more PPC competition for the word. CPC is the price. Okay. So this is how much competition. They're saying this is full, like this is as competitive as it gets. If you want to run an ad for Lululemon, right? Because people are trying to sell it, there's
Right.
a buttload, as much as you can get. And your cost per click on there, they're saying is high. This isn't how much. This isn't saying this is the percentage of it. More competitive keyword, the same as 0.77. Okay. The other one was showing us the price. So I would expect the price for this to be something like $8 or $9 per click.
Oh, okay.
Some of those that are like $1.50 or $2. This is an expensive one. Okay. But look at the volume. Now, when you go to SEO, it's a total different story. There's not a lot of competition because those people are relying on ads because they're saying it's instant gratification purchase, right? I imagine that's why they're not writing a lot of blogs about it. But you could do like, creative ways to reuse Lululemon. That could be a pretty good article. Five creative ways to repurpose your Lululemon products or whatever, right? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's a simple article. It's got lots of traffic. So that's how we use SEO keyword searches to help come up with the articles that we're going to write for our clients. Right?
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for, that word tracker, because I'm like, like I'll be talking about like car maintenance or something like that. And then to be able to see like what the top searches are on car maintenance.
Well, our clients are a little bit different usually than you. So you could write about anything, which is cool. A lot of our clients they're stuck in the zone. Like for example, in my example today, we have the interior decorator. Well, they're interior decorators in Virginia. So they need to get the people in Virginia to know about them and use them. Excuse me,
Bless you.
Thank you. So in that, I'm looking for interior decor. Then I'm looking inside of that suite going, okay, what words can I cherry pick? So every situation is a little bit different. Yours is a little bit unique in the fact that you can just go for volumes. So you can go like on Google and go, what are the most searched keyword terms today or this month or this year? I would do that. Now that you don't even need a tool for that. You can just go straight to Google. But for a lot of these, word tracker or any word tracker type tool or keyword tracker type tool should be able to help because Google keeps track of it all. So all these tools are basically doing the same thing. They're going into Google analytics and going, okay, well, what words, because of the CPC business, right? The ad business. That's why Google gives out the information for free, because you have to be able to know how much volumes before you place the ad. Because if you're going to spend $5 on an ad versus $4 on an ad, you got to be able to justify it. And the way you're going to justify it is, oh, there's more volume for that particular keyword. That's why we're paying them, because there's a lot of traffic. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's how it all works. Again, this lesson for today is over as far as that goes. But in the homework, I'm going to have you guys do some keyword research because, again, you have to know volume. You have to understand how you can drive traffic to the website. If you're writing content that nobody's searching for, then you're not, you know what I mean? It's not just
Right.
an article for fluff. It's got to generate some readers.
Yeah, I know. And you're absolutely 100% right on that. And finding out the answers to that and using the right tools to do it is important, you know, so I'm all on board. Whatever you want to teach me on that, I'm cool with that. There was a site, I think you told me, and somebody else had just mentioned it the other day, and I'm pretty sure you brought it up to me first. And it was like, Ask the Internet. And basically it was like questions, like the top questions that people are writing in Google search. Do you remember that or no? I don't remember what the domain was, but it was like a tool where you could see all the questions that were being like asked to the internet.
Yep. Oops. I'm on my laptop. What's it doing here? Hang on a second. I'm bringing it up. So I'm just typing this into Google to see what it says. So what Google is saying, keywordtool.io is the tool that it recommends. There's Quora.com that does that. There's turbofeature.com that does that. There's similarweb.com that does that. The Guardian does that too, theguardian.com. So the one that I'm familiar with of those was Quora.com, which is Quora.
Quora is the one, yeah, that's the one that
Yeah.
sounds familiar. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna go with, Quora.
Yep, that's the one.
Cora, right?
It's Quora.
Oh, there we go. QU.
Yeah, it's like query.
There it is. Okay. Quora.com. Okay, now I got it.
No problem.
You're a
All
wonderful
right, my
man.
friends.
Thank you so much.
Yep, my pleasure. Like I said, this video I will send out to everybody every week. So it's going to come via week transfer. The homework will come from an email from me on this regular email. So you'll get 2 emails at the end of every class. This one, as soon as it's done processing, which usually takes about an hour for my computer to rip the video, and then the homework will come a little bit later. So if you guys have any questions in the meantime, you can email me, you can send it in the chat room on LinkedIn, or you can text me, whichever you guys really prefer to do. It doesn't matter to me. But I will see you again. The homework, make sure you get the homework in, even though it's Thanksgiving this week. I know it's Thanksgiving. The homework still due Sunday, 3 p.m. my time. So whatever time this meeting starts for you, Tia, at 6 p.m., right? Because we're East Coast. So it would be due Sunday at 6 p.m. Right? Don't miss the homework because it gets you kicked out of the class. You only get kicked out. So make sure you're watching the videos, make sure you're doing the homework, and you stay in, and everybody will be happy. All right. If you need to miss a week, this is a reminder. Let me know ahead of time that you need to miss the week. The homework will still be due, but you can watch the video. So Tia, Marcy, and Dawn and Marlena will be the ones that will make the meeting live most weeks because Sarah and Bianna are not available at this time. But if you guys need to miss, like Tia, if you need to miss next week, you just send me an email. Sorry, I'm not going to be there, so I know. And then you just watch the video. It's totally fine. Okay.
Cool.
All right,
Sounds
y'all.
good.
See ya.
All right,
Thanks
happy
for joining.
Thanksgiving.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.